This is Warning Coordination Meteorologist Todd Heitkamp with the National Weather Service office in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with a web briefing concerning the winter storm that's forecast to impact the area beginning this afternoon, and also the cold that will filter in behind the storm. Some of the main weather headlines associated with this storm, obviously mainly concerning with the snowfall itself. We're expecting the snow to become more widespread this evening and continue through the overnight hours of tonight and into Wednesday morning. We're now expecting that most of the accumulating snowfall will have ended across the tri-state area by Wednesday noon. Not only the snow is of concern, but also the wind. If it was the snow alone, obviously we wouldn't be dealing with a huge concern. But when you add in the effects of the wind, it's going to cause additional issues associated with visibilities, and we're expecting those winds to increase during the overnight hours of tonight. And when you combine that with the snow that is falling, we're expecting visibilities to be reduced in some areas down below a half mile. So obviously that will make travel difficult across portions of the tri-state area, but also not only the tri-state area, there are other portions of the upper Midwest that will also be affected by this storm. And then also behind this storm, as the snowfall tapers off, we're expecting the coldest air of the season to filter in behind the storm. And so we're expecting wind chills to be very dangerous, if not life-threatening, across portions of the tri-state area later this week. Taking a look at the latest snowfall forecast for the tri-state area, you can see a large, broad area of 3 to 7 inches of snow forecast for most of the tri-state area. Here right now in purple, we're forecasting the heaviest snow band to set up from, let's say, Salem on northeastward towards Flandreau and then up towards Marshall, Minnesota. However, that's where we're expecting it right now, but this storm is still evolving, and so it could shift further to the north or south, and that's why we're asking people to stay abreast of the latest weather forecast to keep an eye on where this heaviest snow band is going to actually set up. But no matter what, it does look like a large portion of the tri-state area is going to expect to encounter 3 to 6 inches of snow across a large portion of the area. The other thing is the winds, and as I mentioned earlier, the winds are expected to increase across the area later on tonight, and especially from, let's say, Brookings down to Sioux Falls through the I-29 corridor, and then from Sioux Falls to Chamberlain along the I-90 corridor, and then also from Sioux Falls to Jackson on the I-90 corridor to the east. Visibility is going to be reduced substantially in many areas of those open rural areas, and so travel is going to be very difficult. If you are planning on traveling, make sure you identify the route that you're going to take and inform the people that those are the routes that you're going to take, and also ensure that you have a winter survival kit in your vehicle at all times. The other facet of the storm that we want to talk about is the cold air that's going to be filtering in behind the storm system, and that's what we're looking at. These are the wind chills that we are expecting by Saturday morning. Now, this is well after the storm has passed and the cold air continues to filter in, but you can get an idea of a broad area of 20 to 30 below zero wind chills. This is where we need to make sure that we are not only prepared for the snow to fall over the next 24 hours, but the adverse cold that's going to affect the tri-state area later on this week and into the weekend. So again, taking a look at some of the impacts from this storm, we're expecting the accumulating snowfall to cause adverse travel conditions and advising people to have a winter survival kit in their vehicle at all times, and postpone travel if it's not absolutely necessary because of the wind. And that's what we're expecting, the winds to increase throughout the overnight hours of tonight, which will reduce visibilities, making travel quite difficult in many open rural areas. And then again, emphasize it that much more, we're expecting dangerous wind chills to set into the area beginning Friday and Saturday and continuing through the weekend. And we're advising people to make sure that you are dressed appropriately and make sure all exposed flesh is covered as much as you possibly can. And throughout the storm, we're asking people to stay abreast of the weather information. The way you can do that is through our website at weather.gov/Sioux Falls. Other methods include the NOAA Weather Radio, as well as Facebook and our Twitter accounts. Social media is becoming more and more important to a lot of people, and obviously for the Weather Service it also has. So those are two methods to not only stay up to date on the weather information, but to provide us with weather information as well. Another source of information is through the local media. Obviously, the radio stations and TV stations provide good weather information. We're just, again, emphasizing stay abreast of the latest weather forecast in whatever means you can. And if you are planning on any type of travel, we recommend not only notifying the people ahead of you on the route that you're going to take and having a winter survival kit in your vehicle, but know what those latest road conditions are. And that's why the Weather Service, as well as the Office of Emergency Management, is recommending you call 511 or go to the website at safetravelusa.com to stay up to date on the latest road conditions information across not only South Dakota, but the upper Midwest. This has been Todd Heitkamp for the National Weather Service Office, providing this weather briefing on this winter storm that's going to impact the area Tuesday night as well as Wednesday morning.